Good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time of the day you're watching this video. We are back down the garage, and I'm slightly overcompensating in my mood because I feel like absolute. But we're down the garage, so we're gonna do something anyway. Finally, after months and months and months of being messed around by AP Motor Store, basically sold me a load of stuff that he didn't have in stock, wouldn't admit to not having it in stock, and kept telling me the courier kept losing it. So apparently Hermes lost 5 parcels. I know Hermes are bad, but I'll be honest, I've never seen them lose 5 parcels in a row. Basically turns out he didn't have stock. I mean, if you just told me that in the first place, you know, would have saved a lot of hassle. Anyway, finally got a refund, brought some more hoses from different seller, turned up within 3 days, happy days. So tonight we are finally finishing what we started 2 videos ago, and that is boost side, cold side. We are going to get that all bolted up, and hopefully at some point I need to address the fact that it's still leaking lots of fluid on the floor. And we'll fire it up later on this evening, plug into the ECU, see what we've got, and it might make a bit of boost. Interesting, right. That being the case, first things first, I've got to pull all this piping out, and then we have got to cut off the top mount on this counterweight thing on the gearbox, because that's going to clash with this. So yeah, first things first, get the grinder on that, choppy.
A few moments later.
Okay, cut that out, nice and quick, easy, simple. It's finally awake. It's an old girl, that one. Right, so I've cut the counterweight off, as you can see. I have still got more that I can cut off if I need it. Can't even get you in shot there. Hang on, where are we? Start again. Right, I have got more that I can cut off there if I need to. But what I'm going to do first is get all my piping in and then see how much more, if any, I need to trim. And even if I don't need to trim any more off, what I'll then do is just round these edges off, because at some point I'm going to cut myself on that and it's going to really hurt. So yeah, that's that. I've got these 2 couplers there. Got this elbow, that elbow, this thing here we need to cut down because it's quite big. And then we just need to get it all piped in through those 2 holes there into the charge cooler. So yeah, I'm going to start by getting these poked through there, and then we'll go inside. Oh, I put the windscreen back in the other night, by the way, just because, you know, why not? Only left it out because I was going to paint the rest of the car before I put it on the road this year, but now we're rapidly running out of time in the year. Probably going to miss most of the major shows, unfortunately, but I'm still hoping we might get it out for last 2 months of the year or something like that, just to give it a good old shakedown and a test before we, I suppose, take it all apart winter again, before, you know, take it all back apart again and start again. But, you know, that's the way it goes. Anyway, right, stop talking, get on. Okay, so that is the cold side done, as you can see. I've got to do this side here, but I've got to cut it down to length on the inside, so I haven't jubileed any of this up yet. So yeah, let's jump inside the car and see what we've got underneath the dash. as you've just seen, I had to take the dash out. Wasn't happening, it was too tight in there, there wasn't enough room. So, yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, dash came out, basically. Not overly happy about it. Don't even know if I was in that shot, man. Yeah, not overly happy about it, but it happens. Anyway, I've got most of the cold side in. I've just marked up my hot side hard pipe. And when I say marked up, I mean scratched with a screwdriver, because that's all I had. But yeah, so I'm going to cut that down. I'm probably going to have to bust out the welder at some point and just weld a couple of blobs of aluminium on here, just because obviously it's not going to be bead rolled, and I haven't got a bead rolling tool. Just a couple of blobs of weld around the outside to hold it on. But yeah, for now I'm just going to cut it down and shove it in, and we'll worry about, I'm not even in the shop, and I'll worry about putting something on there when we start making big boost, because let's be honest, at the moment it's probably not even going to see enough boost to pop that off without a rolled end on it. So yeah, let's cut that next. No, right, it's all in. I've had to use 2 Jubilee clips here because I ran out of boost clamps, but actually a boost clamp would have been too tight on here. This is a bit not sketchy, but it's real tight. It's real tight. That's the edge of the turbo there. So yeah, that's a real tight bend. We'll see how it goes. I might have to do something about it. I might have to get the turbo modified and weld on an aluminium 90 onto the turbo and then go off that way. But yeah, cold side is all in, the hot side's in, all bolts up quite nice, it's all fairly rigid, seems okay under here. Now I didn't actually test the gear stick before I bolted everything up tight, but also I didn't realise that I needed to. So obviously when I was putting everything in, nothing actually collided, so basically I'm just going to run it through the gears dry now, just to see where we're at. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. You might be if I zoom in down there. Hang on, adjusting the angle on the flyer. Cut this bit out, obviously. Well, might leave it in. It's entertaining. So yeah, if I wedge you guys there somewhere, you'll be able to see that, and we'll see if when I go through the gears, we'll see if it knocks on anything. Fingers crossed it doesn't. So. It's neutral. Second. I can't remember where reverse is it. It's up there somewhere. Okay, goes into all the gears. I can't see it hitting. I'll pause this and watch the footage back, see if it is hitting anything, but that seems pretty good. Okay, so it's all buttoned up. I couldn't find the little thing, the little back block that I had somewhere, but don't know where it's gone. Anyway, so I've bodged it up a bit, so we should see some boost. It might not read correct boost. I've got it set to PSI. I've messed around with the map a little bit, so I'm now running on dual fuel map. So to be honest, I don't even know if it's going to run at all, because the map is completely different to what it has been, and it is still really rich, so I need to pull some out of the main fuel map. But what we're going to do is see how it goes, shall we?
Give it a whirl.
Let's get that V open. I know that's going to be too rich, so what I'm going to do is just pull out. Pull out 5%, 7%, pull out 10%, and give that going. The engine is stone cold, so obviously it's going to come up on the warm-up enrichment to start with. Check the oil. Run it with no oil in. Destroy the engine before you start it. Should be fine. Mostly coolant, mostly. Yeah, that's fine. Right. Okay, it's 10 o'clock at night. Let's piss the neighbours off. Put the windscreen in so I can't lean through now. Right, that gear. That's on. Ready?
Go on.
Needs a bit of throttle, I think. Right, bit of a situation update for you guys. It's been a couple of weeks since the last clip you saw. I haven't really been filming because I've just been pulling my hair out with this engine, trying to make it run somewhat decent. There it is. Basically, we whittled it down to the fact that at 2,500 RPMs, there was a peak in noise on the VR sensor, which basically meant the engine was losing sync. It didn't know where the missing tooth was on the wheel. Easy way around that is you put a 10k resistor in line with the VR positive, and that cleans the noise up. That seemed to work, but was now hitting sort of a ceiling at about 4,000 RPM. But it wasn't quite as hard a ceiling as we were seeing before. And pulling my hair out, trying to work out why it's not working, see the fuel pressure dropping, which is what it was doing before. I've been down here for about an hour tonight, trying to get this thing to run. I've had the coils out, I've had the plugs out, I've had the whole lot of everything out, trying to work out why it would not run. Turns out, my fault. Yeah, turns out there was no fuel in it. There's no fuel in it. I mean, pulling my hair out because it had no petrol in it. Fuck. Right, petrol in, let's try again. Okay, so, petrol in, it runs, makes a little noise, pops, bangs, does all the stuff it was doing before. Still not quite right. I need to sort something. It's not running as it should do. It wasn't rev up properly. Half of it I think is the map, but I think the other half of it is these plugs have been in there. These are like the only set of plugs that's ever been in there. These plugs have been abused whilst they've been in there. They've seen copious amounts of fuel. They've seen no fuel. They've been at 17.5 AFR. They've been at 10 flat AFR. They're just, I think they're just knackered. We take them out, they're coked up, they're buggered. I've got 1, 2 and 3 seem to run okay. 4 was running cold. I've swapped 4 with 1. They now kind of all tend to work a little bit better, but I think 1 is now still cold, so it does seem to be moving with that plug. So I'm just going to order a new set of plugs, basically. A new set of plugs, throw it in there and go from there. But the boost piping is all done. You know, it's all connected up. It does make boost. You can see it start to make boost on the ECU. The map sensor showing positive pressure at about 3,700, 3,800 RPM, which is actually quite good for that size turbo, I should think. I mean, I was expecting, bearing in mind it's a huge thing, and it's only a 4-banger. I was probably expecting to see 4.2, 4.3 before we started making positive pressure. I mean, obviously, at 3.6, 3.7, it's not making a massive amount of boost by any means. You know, it's just creeping up to 2 or 3 psi. It's not making, all the psi. But that, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that because it means, at the moment with the way it is, we're at a flat spark. The spark table, we don't touch the spark table. I think at positive pressure, it's just like 8 degrees static timing at the moment, just to keep it safe whilst we're running it in the garage. The other thing is the AFR's all over the place, so by the time I get a decent spark table set up in there and I get the fuel map worked out, you know, can lean it off a little bit, and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to get it to spool up a bit faster than it is doing now. And obviously it should spool harder under load anyway. So yeah, happy with that all in all. Obviously I'm not happy it's still running like a bag of crap, but we're moving forward, we're getting there. I'm going to leave this video off here, otherwise we're going to keep going on and on and on and on. I'm actually not going to worry about trying to run the engine anymore for a month or two now. I think the thing to do now is leave the engine, and I have ordered this week actually calipers and discs for the front, for the brakes. So next week's video, maybe the week after, depends how quick we can pull our finger out and get it done, but we will be moving on to the brakes, and then the month after that, i.e. this payday coming up, I've lined up to buy the pedal box, hydraulic clutch pedal box for the inside. So I think that's what we're going to concentrate on for the next few months now. Brakes, pedal box, charge cooler piping, as in the cold water lines to the charge cooler, which is there, and the box in the back. Getting close, really. Let's be honest. I mean, once I've got a pedal box and the brakes and a clutch line, we can drive it. So yeah. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.